Hi students, welcome to Vidyabharati School Ramachandrapuram. I am Vasanti, your social teacher. In this video, I am teaching class 9 subject Social Studies. Chapter 2, The Natural Realms of the Earth, Lithosphere. Students, in this lesson, you are going to learn natural realms of the Earth and examples to different natural realms. The influence interrelationship of each other. You have read much about many of these in the earlier classes, but in this chapter we will see some broad features of these spheres or realms and how they are interrelated and also how human beings interact with them. People who study the earth scientists usually talk of 4 natural realms on the earth. Realms are areas which have some common features. These are lithosphere, hydrosphere, atmosphere, biosphere. What is lithosphere? It is the solid crust or the hard top part of the earth. It is made up of rocks and minerals and covered with a thick layer of soil. Litho means stone or rock and sphere means sphere or ball. It is not a smooth surface as you see on the globe, but has high mountains, plateaus or highlands. Second one, hydrosphere. The realm of water is called hydrosphere. It comes from the Greek word hydro, meaning water. Some part of the water is found deep down under the earth, among rocks, groundwater or mineral water. It comprises of the various sources of water and different types of water bodies like rivers, lakes, seas, oceans. Third one, atmosphere. The thin layer of air that surrounds the earth is atmosphere. The Greek word atmos means vapor. It consists of the large number of gases including oxygen, nitrogen, carbon dioxide, water vapor and dust particles. Last one, biosphere. The realm of life including bacteria which live high up in the atmosphere or in deep ocean constitutes the biosphere. From the Greek word bios means life. As you may have noted above, life needs the presence of all the 3 realms, land, water and air. Now, you can realize that these realms are deeply interrelated and influence each other. Sphere is a solid and rigid outer layer of our planet. It includes the crust in the upper part of the mantle that contains rigid rocks. You will notice in this picture that the lithosphere is a topic layer of the earth. Consists of land and water. The lithosphere can be subdivided into oceanic lithosphere and continental lithosphere. Oceanic lithosphere is associated with the oceanic crust and exists in the oceanic basins, and it is more dense than continental lithosphere. It is associated with the continental crust and is approximately 22 miles thick, although it can reach up to 37 miles under certain mountain ranges. The lithosphere is divided up into large plates called tectonic plates that move about. It is believed that the original configuration of the continents was one solid landmass known as Pangaea, and that it broke into several smaller tectonic plates and created the individual continents. The major plates include the Pacific Plate, North America Plate, Eurasian Plate, African Plate, Antarctican Plate, Indo-Australian Plate and the South American Plate. There are also several minor plates. The lithosphere is also the location where all the earthquakes on Earth occur because an earthquake occurs when tectonic. So weathering of rocks forming in this picture. Weathering includes the methods of process which weaken and break the rocks. So weathering breaks down down and loosens the surface minerals of rock, and so that they can be transported away by agents erosion such as water, wind, the atmospheric forces and weather forces causes. The rocks expand in heat and contract when cooled during day and night. This process happens through the year, summer and winter seasons. The process of moving soil and cutting rock by water or air on the surface of the earth is called erosion. So water which flows with great speed and wind with great force cause breaking of rocks and transportation of soil. So river, sea waves, glacier, wind. Water acts in the form of river, sea waves, glaciers and etc. So the biggest canyon in the world is on river Colorado. It is in USA. The Grand Canyon is 466 kilometers in the length. Its depth is 1.6 kilometers. So it is the waterfall with great force dig deep into the rocks, and it form due to the movement of the rivers. Formation of floodplain here. If you flood stage water level. After many flood, natural levels built up by many floods after formation of floodplains. The speed of the river gets reduced when it enters a plain, and thus it does not have the force to carry. So the river during the floods cut down the soil and produces silt, whereas river without flood deposit silt. So here Mendes and Oxbow Lake. With the repetition of this process, the height of the river bed increases with deposition, and when the flood water comes again, it changes its course and cut. As a result, the river constantly changes its course into the floodplain to form Mendes, turns like a snake. And Oxbow Lakes is a U-shaped body of water. Observe this one. That form when a wide meanders from the main stem of a river is cut off, creating a free-standing body of water. Glaciers aren't just big pieces of ice that frozen overnight. They are actually slow-moving rivers of ice. The formation of a glacier takes a lot of time. So here the snowfall in the very cold regions like Himalayas and gets accumulated as ice and then flows down to warm areas and gets melted, that resulting in the formation of rivers. So for example, the birth of river Ganga starts from Gangotri Glacier in the Himalayas. So the underbanks in the West Bengal, India are part of the world's largest delta formed by the mighty rivers Ganges, Brahmaputra and other. The movement of glacier is generally due to the force of gravity. The glacier moves very slowly, a few centimeters a day. Observe, there are two fundamental areas in every glacier. They are accumulation area. So the U-shaped valley which we generally observe are a result of the glacier erosion. So finally, glacier erosion includes two main processes, namely plucking and abrasion. Plucking is defined as the erosion and transport of large chunks of rocks. When the glacier moves over a landscape, the glacier melts and weather or water seeps into cracks. Glacier abrasion refers to the ability of debris, rich glacier ice to act like a sheet of sandpaper. After the glaciers melt and becomes water, it does not have enough force to carry the rocks, thus leaving them behind in the form of huge big rivers. The glacier collects pebbles and sand etc. from the mountainous slopes, valleys and leaves them on the bed. The glacier, all this is called as till. Which gets deposited at various parts of the glacier as the glacier cannot carry it. Select suitable answer from group B, group A and drop it in the bracket provided against A. Group A you can observe, group B you can observe. Here waves are mainly product of the wind, its first step in the surface of the ocean far from the coast. Can create some of the best waves on earth. Waves and coastal landforms are formed due to the erosion. So, and it is deposition by the sea waves. The waves flow continuously and strike at rock, resulting in the formation of hollow-like caves. So, over time the erosion caused the cave to break through the headland, creating an arc. Slide we shall know about how rocks weaken through the process of weathering and how soil is formed. So exposed rocks are affected by the climate. Climate as a result they break and are powdered. This means the grains in the rock get disintegrated. Due to a part of rock getting dissolved in water or due to the moisture in the air, chemical reactions take place. This leads to the weakening of rocks and over a period of time they get decomposed and break. Disintegration and decomposition of rocks is called weathering. So the intensity of water weathering deposits on the cohesiveness of the rock, its the joints present in the rocks, etc. Mechanical weather mainly leads to the disintegration of rock. Separate into pieces. Whereas chemical weathering causes decomposition of rocks. Due to the rising temperature during the day, minerals in the rock expand, and as the temperature falls during the night, they contract. As this process goes on, continuously stresses develop in the rock mass, the grains are separated and the rocks break away. In the hot deserts, temperatures within a day vary to a great extent. At this time, this process is so intense that explosions occur as rocks break. Rainwater seeps along the cracks in rocks. In regions where the temperature drops below 0 degree Celsius for a period of time, the water that has percolated in the rocks gets converted into ice. Filtered gradually through a porous surface. Ice requires greater space than water. Stresses develop in the rocks mass as the ice tries to acquire greater space. This results in the disintegration of rocks. In many rocks, the combined action of temperature, water seeping into the rocks and the moisture in the air leads to variations in the contraction and expansion of different layers. So this results into the formation of the sheets that fall away from the outer layer of the rock. This type of weathering is called weathering of rocks. So it causes disintegration of rock on the surface of the earth. It breaks down loosens the surface minerals of rocks so they can be transported away by agents of erosion such as water. So summary of this lesson, let's recap the highlights of this chapter. So collect newspaper or magazines, articles on earthquakes and volcanoes, prepare an illustrated file on how they occur and effect of human life. So fill in the blanks and Greek alphabet here. Observe many of these scientists' names are taken from Greek language. What do you think is the reason? Thank you.